Hi, I'm Brian Kurtz. This is my Module 8, Legal Aspects of Teacher Evaluation. The first article I wanted to touch on was the NEA Teachers Evaluation. This mainly focused on the Every Student Succeeds Act and how the unions do have power to help with set up the evaluation systems to give teachers more of a voice with how the evaluation systems are put into place. This includes things like, I believe this came from the criticisms of the No Child Left Behind and the Race to the Top programs. The second article I read was the teacher evaluation heads to court, and this was about different claims that have gone to court over the teacher evaluation system. A lot of this is just because teachers haven't been happy with it. Um, it's because the evaluation system has been set up to use student test scores to rate teachers' effectiveness. It pretty much gets rid of how tenured teachers are treated. You can terminate tenured teachers based on low evaluation scores. Also, it takes into account that some of these cases are about student demographics not playing a role in evaluation. So, districts that are serve minority populations and high free and reduced lunch areas are being unfairly evaluated. Also, it takes into account the pay for performance, how teachers' pay is affected by evaluations in some states. A lot of these, the federal government has sided with the school. Of course, has sided with the federal government and the school districts rather than siding with the teachers. Although several of the cases have not been complete yet. The last article was the teacher evaluation and issue overview, and this just went over a lot of the issues that teacher evaluation is facing now. It talks about how it's set up by the federal government, and states would accept it in order to receive cash benefits for education. The main issues that it talked about were things like the inconsistencies with the evaluation process, how a teacher could be rated effective one year and the next year show improvement and be rated ineffective that year. It also talked about one of the issues is that non-tested subjects, teachers that teach those non-tested subjects, are being evaluated on the tested subjects. And so some of those programs are getting cut from schools, and also the ability for schools to terminate tenured teachers without due process hearings. Um, as far as the teacher evaluations in my school district, in Colorado School District 51, what we do is we use the modified framework for teaching. We take that framework and it's actually been simplified to make it a shorter process for teachers and administrators. So we do our pre-evaluation by ourselves. It doesn't take hours and hours and hours. When I took it, it took me maybe 15 minutes to complete the whole process for my end. And then administrators as well have the same framework that they're working with. Probationary teachers are observed minimum 3 times a year, although I'll say I am on the probationary status right now still, and I've only been observed once this year. And I've talked with my administrator about coming into the other two, and he just straight up told me he's not worried and he has other teachers he needs to focus on. Non-probationary teachers are observed once per year, and those observations can be announced or unannounced. Mid-year and end of the year, we have a sit-down conference with our administrator, and we actually go through the whole framework for teaching that we have, and we sit down and we talk about the different strengths and weaknesses that we have as a teacher, what they see and how we feel. Sometimes it gives us a chance to talk about the things that they didn't see in the observations. And so there's more of a voice that teachers have when it comes to the whole teacher evaluation system in our district. Resources that we have. So if a teacher feels that they have been unfairly evaluated, the only thing that I know of is the MVEA. They can put in claims to the district courts here to have a due process hearing to have it redone. But I'm not really heavily involved with that with the MVEA, so I really don't know what much of those recourses are. I just focus on being a good teacher, and I haven't had an issue yet. So one of the lawsuits that I looked up, I wanted to find one that's happened here in my state to see how things are progressing here. And one of them involved Denver Public Schools. This lawsuit, so this is former teachers versus the Denver Public School System. Is the case right now is in the Colorado Supreme Court. The teacher's claim in this is that the law allows the districts to place teachers on unpaid leave, even if they have good evaluations. So they can pretty much be placed on unpaid leave for no reason at all and have no say in that, and have for no reason. They don't know why. They're whole claim is that teachers have a right to a hearing. So at the very least, they need to have a hearing to let teachers know why, and that way they can defend themselves. DPS claim is that under the previous law, principals were being forced to accept tenured teachers that were a bad fit for the school. Teachers who weren't performing well could be bounced around from one school to the next, and if it was a bad fit, the principals had to just put up with that teacher until they could move them to another school. Now the law allows principals to place those teachers on unpaid leave so they can hire somebody else that would be a better fit. Right now, that case is still in the Supreme Court for a decision, and it'd be interesting to see where they side. My instinct, and based on what I have read, is that the Supreme Court will decide with Denver Public Schools and allow this to continue. So for me as a future administrator, things that I would do to ensure that the evaluation process is fair towards teachers and to avoid all these different legal aspects is first off, I really like how our district does that, does the teacher evaluations, how teachers they sit down with their administrators and can talk about their observations and their evaluations. That way they can get a say in how they're evaluated as well. I also would be willing to work with teachers unions. My principal's a great example with that. Before he sets things up, he always goes to the teachers union, the MVEA, to ensure that what he wants to do aligns with what our rights are as teachers. Also, a big thing would be to know what the state laws are about teacher evaluations. Wherever I might be when I become an administrator, I need to know what the law is in those areas and what my rights are as an administrator and what the teacher's rights are as well. So with that, thank you for listening and have a great day.